Attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday. Back to represent two dudes with attitudes. Yeah, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen and the best of the best. Came together on TikTok, hit it off from the jump. Now they never gon' stop. Shooting Star, PRS, you can hit the follow. My wrestling opinion is someone you should all know. And they call him MWO. Yeah, it's rich on the flow, and I thought you should know. Two dudes in the mood that be dropping the jewels. This is not for the fools, this is just how we do. Talking WWE, no one is touching the team. Cool, calm, collected, the methods will be. You can hit the 5 stars when it's time to rate on whatever platforms. Two dudes, get it straight, yeah.
Yeah.
Oop. Sorry.
We're back. Oh, okay. All right.
Hit the wrong button.
That we're going to keep going. It's so good. You got to hear it twice. What is going on, Two Dudes Wolfpack? We are back with another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. As always, I'm your man, the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. Honorary member of the Judgment Day, I think by now, Mr. MWO. And with me, as always, is Sami Zayn's handsomer twin brother, the honorary dude, Shooting Star Press. What's going on?
Living
funny
the dream.
And offensive. I love it.
Living the dream, man. We're another day in, another episode 77 today. So we're almost to 100. We're getting there. We're getting to 100, which is crazy. Crazy to think about. When we started this. We started this in December, and here we are, 77 episodes in.
That's crazy. When's our year?
December 14th, I think it was.
All right. Yeah,
it was the day Mandy Rose got released.
That is, man, she's almost going to be on for a year. Well, we'll see what happens. But so anyway, speaking of, that's a perfect segue.
Hey,
perfect segue because our first
77 episodes.
Right there, you go. We did it. The first time we did an episode, Two Dudes with Attitudes, we literally shot the entire episode, and during the middle of the episode, our phones were blowing up. We were refusing to look at our phones because Mandy Rose had been released, and we didn't even get to talk about it. We're going to talk about it later on in our AEW episode, like 2 days later. But today, before we recording this episode on this wonderful Thursday evening or afternoon, we had a whole bunch of releases and an announcement with a TV deal. So I'll let Shooting Star, as always, take over, and we'll briefly cover all this and what we think. So what's happening in the WWE world with TKO?
So some breaking news coming out of WWE. SmackDown, as of October 2024, will be leaving Fox and going to NBC or USA. So it'll be on the NBC Universal is what bought the rights, and it's going to be airing on USA Network starting October 2024 once their deal ends. No word on what's going to happen with Raw or NXT, but their rights with NBC Universal end September of 2024. But there's rumors that Amazon or Disney may be interested in the television rights for those shows. I'm assuming that NBC Universal is, if they paid $1.4 billion, which is what's being reported, I'm assuming they're going to jump in and, get the rights to Raw and NXT as well. But as of right now, it's just SmackDown going to USA. And in the meantime, Raw and NXT will continue airing on USA.
So wait, so they can't they got to be doing this. Oh, here's the thing, right? Too, because USA is paired up with Peacock as well, and Peacock does the WWE Network.
Yeah.
So to me, this just seems like it makes sense that they're doing all this. So I don't see Raw and NXT leaving. I think this is a really good idea. I think they've had issues with Roman being the champ and other people being the champs and so on because Fox wanted it or USA wanted it. Now, if USA is all one, I think it could be better. Maybe we can finally get a brand split. You were saying that you were worried that maybe Raw will just be the end-all, say-all now, and SmackDown and NXT will kind of be Collision and Rampage.
That's kind of, I was worried because that's how it was before when SmackDown aired on Tuesdays it was SmackDown Live, and it aired on Tuesdays on USA. For a while, it aired on
only
Sci-Fi.
A few years, right?
Yeah, but it was still
Sci-Fi. That's
it was on Sci-Fi for a while. It was on a bunch of other networks and it just felt clearly like the B show. And lately, SmackDown, which we'll talk about when we get into it, but SmackDown's been the A show lately, and I want Raw to get back to being the. I want them both to be A shows, and right now it feels like SmackDown's the A show, and Raw is kind of the meh show. When I want them both to kind of do their thing, and so hopefully this will help, or we'll see. We'll see, but
we'll have more news as it moves forward. So we'll go.
But on the same day that they announced $1 billion television rights deal, because they're not profitable enough.
No, they need money.
WWE, or it was announced today that earlier in the week, a lot of WWE employees were laid off, staff and people that work for the actual UFC and WWE as part of the merger. I think that's part of the deal. Anytime there's a merger, there's always impending layoffs of people that work directly for the company. But today they announced there were talent releases in the organization. So some wrestlers were let go, and apparently more are coming, and probably more will happen throughout the day. So we just got to keep our eyes glued and see what happens. But so far, the wrestlers that have been released are notable ones. Dolph Ziggler, he is officially done with the WWE. So see what happens to him, former Grand Slam champion, former World Heavyweight champion. I still remember the day he cashed in Money in the Bank and the pop that he got. Shelton Benjamin, Elias, Emma, Madcap Moss, Aaliyah, Top Dollar, Rick Boogs, and Mustafa Ali, who's in the middle of a program with Dirty Dom, supposed to have a title match at No Mercy for the North American Championship against Dirty Dom, but he is officially released from WWE as well. So we'll see what happens at No Mercy, who Dirty Dom's opponent will be.
Question, is Ezekiel still with the WWE, or was he released with Elias?
We're still waiting on confirmation on that.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I don't know if the brothers, if they're going to keep one. Or...
I mean, they fired Madcap Moss, and they also fired his wife Emma. So I mean, it feels like it's going to be a package deal. So be on the lookout for news about Ezekiel.
So they were married in real life, right? So when they started doing the little promo of them dating, because they were married, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it should be. You can't. I don't like when they do that. Yeah.
I think, or they're dating in real life.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? It sucks to see people lose jobs, especially in professional wrestling. You don't want anyone to not have a job, but this isn't, 2000s, mid 2000s where WWE was it. All these wrestlers that you name will find a home. They were all being wasted and just being paid. So I'm sure they're like, darn it, I'm not getting a paycheck. But I also feel like when you are an athlete on that level, you want to play and do what you love. So I'm assuming a lot of these people are happy as well, especially someone like Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, I think, still has a good 10 years left in him. I'm not even saying that as a joke. I think he'll thrive. The only thing about Dolph Ziggler, though, is that I'm going to be very upset because he'll never be Dolph Ziggler again. And I know when he came up with that name, people made fun of him, saying it was like the worst name ever. I think Dolph Ziggler is one of the best names ever. It's going to stink to have him be Namath now moving forward.
Yeah.
And it's just not as good, but it is what it is. He'll shine over there, probably with Edge over in AEW. We'll see. But just give me one really quick and we'll move on. Who are you the most sad, not counting Dolph Ziggler? Who are you sad? I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed about Rick Boogs and Elias.
I knew it.
But at the same time, they haven't been used, and I think Elias was apparently he posted something a few months ago or weeks ago saying that he was his contract had expired or something, and they weren't renewing it. So apparently he's been released, I guess, for a little while, but it was officially announced today. But I mean, they weren't being used, so it's kind of. I'm sad to see any of them go. Shelton Benjamin's another one because he's a guy that's been with WWE for a while. But again, they weren't using him, so hopefully they can go somewhere else and be used properly and have the career that they deserve. Especially Shelton Benjamin. I mean, that man can go. That man has money.
Well, I think Sheldon, Dolph, and Ali will be in AEW by next week, unless there's 90-day clauses. The other ones, I think, will go to Impact, New Japan, and wherever else around the world. You will probably see your boy Rick Boogs as Brick Roogs very shortly on Impact. So
bring him on,
Rick Roogs.
Bring him on. I want to see him and Elias in like a rock band tag team or something.
You'll see them on Impact and
put Heath Slater with him because he's in Impact and bring back the 3MB. There you go. You literally have a band.
Go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I'm surprised there was no NXT cuts. I didn't see anyone.
Well, apparently that's the other rumor is that as of 5 p.m. Eastern time, according to all the dirt sheets, starting around 5 p.m. Eastern time, they are going to do NXT releases, and we're gonna find out more. So it's not over yet.
See you later, Schism. All right. So with that said, let's get this party started. And we're going to talk about SmackDown as always. We're going to start about SmackDown. And I mean, man, I guess we can go pretty quickly with this because nothing really happened eventful on SmackDown.
Yeah.
No returns, or it was pretty much a boring episode. But I mean, if we must talk about it, Pat McAfee returned, opened up SmackDown in his black tank, and out came Austin Theory, also in a black tank. I don't know if they did that on purpose for jokes, but they were literally wearing the same exact outfit. The same. The same exact. And Pat McAfee even called him out on it. It's so funny because I was such a big Pat McAfee fan when he was a punter of the Colts, even though I don't like the Colts. I just liked him. His energy, his vibe. He was down to tackle guys when they got punt returns. He was always that dude. And then I liked him. It took me a while to like him as an announcer in WWE. I didn't like him at first, and I started falling in love with him. Then I started watching the Pat McAfee show, and I don't like him anymore for numerous reasons. I just think he's like that friend that you have that you're like, dude, stop trying so hard. Like, just tell a joke and move on. You don't have to like act like an idiot and smash a beer can on your forehead to get the extra attention. And that's what I kind of feel him as. He's like that freaking, and then he also has Aaron Rodgers on his show constantly. And he's like the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. And I can't stand me any Aaron Rodgers with anything, not just the whole, whatever his stance were in life, but just him in general. He just seems like a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
So I didn't really sorry, Aaron Rodgers fans, please don't hate me. But, and I didn't wish him to get injured, but I wasn't that big. So when he came out, I was kind of like, meh. I'm not really fit. He just seems now I just have him as that guy all the time. But Austin Theory comes out and he's about to want to fight Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee, who literally has beaten legit wrestlers before, is all of a sudden scared. So he calls out his friend, and it's The Rock. And The Rock has returned. The Rock has come back to WWE. And it was a big freaking, it was a shock. It was a surprise. The crowd cheered for about 7 days straight. It was pretty damn intense. He seemed a little rusty on the mic. I didn't feel like the Rock of old. He seemed a little stuttering with his words. But I got to say this with the whole, he basically went back and forth with Austin Theory. Then they kicked his butt, moved on with his day. But here's the thing, right? With the Rock returning. Number one, him and, like I said on my TikTok, him and Cena are only back because they ain't got jobs. It's Friday. You ain't got no job and you ain't got shit to do. So you might as well go on SmackDown. So I don't think either of these guys are back for any long haul. I don't think we're going to see The Rock again for a while. And I think he was only there because they were doing ESPN in Colorado. And I think they just hit him up and they were like, sure, we'll come down and open up your show. And I think that was all put on the spot because why else would Austin Theory be? Like, you're going to bring The Rock back and not add Jimmy, Jay, Solo, a Paul Heyman segment, nothing. No, thank you. So that was just a one-off. But I want to say the MVP of SmackDown, we're not going to talk about him too much, but I'm going to say was my boy, Austin Theory. If you want to talk about being put in front of maybe not the greatest of all time, but the biggest of all time, I think The Rock is bigger than Stone Cold in a whole now. We really want to. I think he is the biggest star, Brock Lesnar, anyone ever to grace the WWE. And Austin Theory stood with him. And is he the first guy ever to use The Rock's promo on him? Because he was like, said, and he's like, it doesn't matter what you're here for, Rock, or what. I mean, he killed. This was the best Austin Theory ever did. I guarantee the WWE is regretting taking the belt off him. He is starting to hit and peak, and he looked flipping amazing. So out of the whole Rock return, what I got out of it was Austin Theory freaking killing it. And then, of course, people that hate each other and talk crap about each other, The Rock and John Cena make out backstage, which was also Cena needed to give The Rock a rub. But I'll let you go because we don't have all day to talk about The Rock. But
I mean,
go ahead. You got some time. Like, am I off on all this? I just
no.
Was like, and the world exploded. I'm glad The Rock's back, but this was everyone's getting it like his, will he be at Mania? Probably. And we'll talk about that in the future, what we think that way. But it's not like he's coming back next week.
No, he's not back permanently. And Pat McAfee even said on his show on Monday that WWE called them at like 3:00 that afternoon, Colorado time, which is like 5 p.m. Eastern time, and said, hey, you guys are in Colorado. Why don't you come on down to SmackDown? So they made the drive. He said it was last minute. There was no plan. There was no, there was no like structure in place. And apparently the segment went like 5 minutes over. And so a bunch of other stuff had to be written. I want so yes, I agree with you that Austin Theory looked really good, and they have to have a lot of faith in that man because he's been in front of John Cena, he's been in front of Brock Lesnar. He took that that really cool F5 off the top of the chamber by Brock Lesnar. He's now been in the ring, gone toe to toe with The Rock, and he's gone toe to toe with Stone Cold and Vince McMahon and Pat McAfee.
You're right.
So some of the best, minus Pat McAfee, some of the best that have ever done it, some of the legends in the business. He's gone toe to toe with them, and so kudos to Austin Theory. I thought he looked really good. He didn't get obliterated or anything. He held his own against the People's Champion. But I didn't like The Rock's return, and I'm happy that he's back. And I texted you and I said, "Hey, big stuff's happening on SmackDown. Check it out." But then I kept watching, and I kept watching, and I kept watching, and I kept watching, and I kept waiting for something to happen. And they didn't give us anything. It was just a random. We crap on AEW all the time about their randomness, and this was just, hey, why don't we have you take out Austin Theory and hang out with Pat McAfee all day? And okay, cool. We can do that. But what is that going to do? What does that advance a storyline at all?
No.
Or is this going to move an angle? What everybody wanted to see was The Rock and the Bloodline, and they could have teased it. They could have alluded to it. And I know that they don't have a match agreed to in principle, which is fine. That Stone Cold and CM Punk had a backstage segment one time, and they never had a match together. Triple H and The Rock had a stare down, a couple years ago, right before WrestleMania, right after WrestleMania, and they never had a one-on-one match since. You can allude to things, and that segment with Pat McAfee backstage with The Rock and they're talking, and I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the moment. This is the moment. And Pat McAfee says, "Oh, there's somebody you can't see," and it's John freaking Cena. You could have used that to, you could have had Jimmy Uso, because the very next scene, literally, they didn't even go backstage, back to the ring.
Yep.
Very next scene is Jimmy Uso doing the Uso pace backstage, where they're always walking around, and Finn Balor walks up and is talking to him, and there's Paul Heyman lurking over there for some reason. It was weird. It was weird. And then you couldn't have had, Jimmy bump into The Rock while he's pacing and say, "Hey, Jimmy, why don't you tell your cousin Roman to give me a call sometime," or something. Even
Roman walking in the background and staring at him and being like nodding and then moving up. Anything to give, if you don't want them to speak, anything.
Yeah, Paul Heyman doing something with The Rock.
Yes,
yes. Something. And so they didn't do anything. And that, to me, that was the big disappointment. I get we may not get the match. That's fine. But that's what the fans wanted to see. They wanted to see something with the Judgment Day or the Bloodline and The Rock. They didn't want to see The Rock against Austin Theory. Although Austin Theory looked great, they didn't want to see it. And then I kept waiting for the end of SmackDown, which, I'll go ahead and get into it. It's the Grayson Waller.
You're saying you're going to talk about it. Let's go.
The Grayson Waller. So I kept, like I said, I kept waiting for the Grayson. They had John Cena on the Grayson Waller effect. And, John Cena was seen earlier in the night, and there he was staring down The Rock, and The Rock was like, "Oh, try not to smile." And then they hug each other and welcome home, Rock. So, okay. So we get that. Then we get the Grayson Waller effect, and Grayson Waller, again, is a stud, and he's getting better and better. The Grayson Waller effects are getting more and more entertaining the more he does them. It's great stuff. And John Cena didn't say a word. He came out, he did his thing. And Grayson Waller, talked his smack, but I was just waiting. I was like, okay, this is the moment. John Cena comes out, and then Jimmy Uso comes out right away, and he starts talking smack about John Cena. And I'm like, okay, this is it. Because Grayson Waller has been going toe-to-toe with The Rock on Twitter, and he invited The Rock to be on the Grayson Waller effect. He invited The Rock to be at SummerSlam. There was rumors that The Rock was going to be at SummerSlam and be on the Grayson Waller effect. So I was like, and we just saw Cena and The Rock backstage. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the moment. The Jimmy Uso's in the ring. This is the perfect moment for The Rock to come out, and we get the Bloodline tease, and AJ Styles comes out. And I'm not even mad about it because it's made sense, because AJ's been in this storyline with Jimmy, and but it was just, you talk about deflation and disappointment. That's kind of how I felt. And I love AJ Styles, and it was just, I just felt really defeated when he came out. I was like, oh man, this was the perfect opportunity to have The Rock come out and clear house. Rock and Cena stand tall. You get your bloodline moment with Rock and Jimmy. You get, you've been teasing Rock and Grayson Waller. You have John Cena there to tie into to all their history. So it was just a disappointment. But, the segment goes that John Cena and AJ Styles, get attacked, or John Cena gets attacked by Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. And, Solo was going at John Cena pretty hard, probably teasing a match between the two of them coming up. And then AJ Styles makes the save and they clear house. And then Paul Heyman orders Solo to go save Jimmy. And that's how SmackDown ends. And there we go. That's where we are.
I was bored of this segment. Even though I think Grayson Waller held his own with John Cena, I actually thought John Cena on the Miz's talk show was way better than John Cena on Grayson Waller's.
He didn't say a word.
Segment. He didn't. You get it because he wasn't really there. Yeah. Yes, because he wasn't there and he got beat up at the end. Like, thank you very much, Miz. But I was Jan Central. I wasn't feeling this. I was whatever. Grayson Waller held his own too, just like Theory did. It's nice to see young stars get rubs, so I will take that out of it. I'm not saying this was pointless, like you said. I'd rather have seen The Rock too, but we got AJ. It makes sense. But it's just like a moment of like, I also think AJ should be doing more and doing better. But
I agree with that.
It is what it is. What can we do? It looks like Cena's going to be on a lot more. It looks like he's going to have a match probably at their next premium live event or the one after that. Maybe more so. What's the next Survivor Series? Probably he'll probably be at.
They have a Saudi show coming up too in early November.
Yeah.
So
speaking of really quick about shows and about releases, did you see Emma post how excited she was that Elimination Chamber was going to be in Australia, and then reposted it and said, "Never mind, I guess I won't be there."
Yeah.
How awful is that? And I like Emma. That's not even like a dog on her, but how deflating.
It's cold-hearted, man. That's cold-hearted,
dude. It's so the fact that she like. Yikes! Talk about decisions and posting, and oh, poor girl. She was like, "Finally, we're in Aussie, and Rhea Ripley's Australian, correct? She's an Aussie, right?
I think so.
Is that why they're going there? Because wasn't she like the main? Weren't they promoting her? As
she was there. Yeah, she was.
Isn't she Aussie?
That's why she was written off by one. Jax.
Yeah.
Australia for the announcement.
Yeah, but anyway, I agree. And speaking of, let's continue with AJ. Okay. So what is AJ doing, right? He's trying to get that rub with Jimmy and everything. Well, he wrestles Finn Balor, and Finn Balor beats AJ Styles with the help of Jimmy Uso. So that's pushing the whole, is Jimmy going to go to Judgment Day? AJ having beef with Jimmy and the Judgment Day needing a win. We're right back. We'll talk about Raw very soon, but we're right back once again with the WWE's booking Judgment Day strong, and then the next show booking them weak, and then booking them strong, and then the next show booking them weak. We still cannot just keep Judgment Day an awesome faction, but this was a phenomenal match. You're going to get Finn and AJ. They're two of the best in the world. I know we're getting Homeboy against Bryan Danielson as the two best technician wrestlers ever and blah, but there's better. And AJ and Finn are two dudes that I can watch all day, every day wrestle. The match was great. Judgment Day looked strong. AJ didn't look bad. It built the Jimmy thing. And then they went backstage, and Finn is, like you had talked about earlier, backstage, and he tells Jimmy, "Thanks a lot for helping me, this and that. Join the Judgment Day." And Jimmy's like, "Nah, fam, I ain't doing it." And then Finn throws out the shot that there is no Roman in the Judgment Day and walks away. And that's when Paul looks a little uneasy. So what say you? Are we getting pointless teases for nothing? And what did this match prove more? Was this match building better for AJ and Jimmy, for Finn, Judgment Day, including Bloodline members? What did you think? Did Judgment Day look strong? We can agree probably. But what was...
Yeah, they look strong. But
what are you getting out of this?
I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing because, are they trying to bring Jimmy and Jay back together? Because they're trying on Raw, they're trying to recruit Jay to join as well. So, and I wish that they would, Jimmy would mention that, hey, you guys, my brother's on your show and you guys are trying to talk to him too, but you got to choose one, fam, or something. Put the ball back in there.
Well, they told Jay, because they told Jay, "Hey, we're trying to get Jimmy and he's kind of on board." They were like, "Oh, he didn't say no. He didn't say no." Or did they say that to Jimmy? They said it to one of them. Yeah, but the other one didn't say no. Yeah. Yeah,
but I don't understand what they're doing. I don't know where it's going. I'll see it through, see what they do with it. But yeah, I think the match, it did more for the Judgment Day than it did for Jimmy. Jimmy's booking has been really weird, and I don't understand what, like, again, Jay's being booked to look strong, and I feel like Jimmy's being booked to look really, really weak. And I think this is another example of that.
I agree. All right. Your last one.
Yeah. And speaking of The Rock, okay, you're not going to do The Rock in Bloodline. That's fine. You're not going to do Rock and Grayson Waller. Okay, cool. LA Knight has a match with The Miz. And who is LA Knight often compared to? Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. You can't do a backstage, you can't do some sort of backstage interaction. The fans would have loved it with The Rock and LA Knight. You couldn't have them stare at each other or do like a passing of the torch moment or something with The Rock and LA Knight.
Yeah.
In each other's face. You couldn't do anything. But anyway, LA Knight has a match against The Miz. And it was a good match. Not quite. I liked it better than their Payback match because no John Cena wasn't involved in this one, and it wasn't about John Cena. It was actually about The Miz and LA Knight, the way it should have been at freaking Payback. But I liked this match. I thought it was good. It was enjoyable. LA Knight gets the win, so now he's 2-0 against The Miz. So we got to end that story now.
That's
Miz,
done.
Yeah, it's got to be done now. And afterwards, the LA Knight cuts a promo and basically says that he's coming for gold, and he name drops every male champion in the WWE. He name
all
drops.
Of them.
He name drops. He says it doesn't matter if it's Gunther, it doesn't matter if it's Rey Mysterio, it doesn't matter if it's Seth freaking Rollins, and it damn sure doesn't matter if it's Roman Reigns. He's coming for gold, and he's gonna take he's gonna be a champion with everybody saying LA Knight, yeah. And I liked it. But I feel like now he has to go for the top prize. He has to. He can't be like, oh yeah, you name dropped all 4 champions, and now if he goes after Rey Mysterio, it's gonna look like, well, I don't think I could beat Seth. I don't think I could beat Roman. I don't think I could beat Gunther. So I'm going after Rey. Or I don't think I can beat Roman. I don't think I can beat Seth. Let me try to get Gunther. Why would you not want the world to? I don't know. I don't like it when they name drop all the champions like that. He should have just picked one in the promo, or just said, don't tell us their name. Just say, I'm coming for gold. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm coming for you. And,
I agree fully. And I thought it was all flat. I don't know. I do think the match was better, but I don't think the crowd was that into it. I just felt like it was just kind of like, you knew it was going to happen. Miz lost clean. And it was just like there wasn't much to it. They did a long commercial break. I just didn't really feel like, I don't know. I wasn't into this match. It happened. I'm glad he won. Hopefully the Miz elevated him up a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you. The promo afterwards was just whatever. Don't name everybody. That's stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Pick a guy to feud with. And I do agree. They could have had The Rock and him going back and forth with, finally. Finally.
Something.
They could have done a back and forth on something going on. But once again, The Rock probably left the building. That John Cena thing was probably recorded before he even went out there.
Yeah.
I think he left instantly. I think that's why they opened up. He bounced and was in his jet back to wherever he needed to go.
But it was just a missed opportunity with The Rock. And but then what they did that really irritated me was they showed the Bloodline watching LA Knight's promo backstage, watching it on TV. And Solo even says, I'm going to take care of this LA Knight problem. And Paul Heyman's like, well, only the tribal chief can give that order. And then Solo's like, it was like watching a Star Wars movie. I know now what I must do. But who gave the order? That's exactly what it was. I know what I must do. Okay, but who gave the order? It was like, what is going on here? But so I guess they're teasing Bloodline versus LA Knight. So I guess he is going after Roman. But they couldn't do that for The Rock. I don't know. It was just
in our segment. I have a question of that, but my thing is that Roman needs to appear. I'm all for him not appearing that much. He's been gone way too long. He needs to come around and say something. I mean, he's been gone with this Bloodline. It doesn't even feel. They don't even feel important anymore whatsoever.
Yeah,
and who's in the Bloodline? I don't even know.
And the whole Paul Heyman carrying the phone saying, "Call Roman Reigns." Can we? You don't have to have him on screen. Let's hear the phone conversation. That's an appearance. Let's see a video chat. Put him on. Have him live via satellite, talking to Jimmy or Jay, or talking something. Just have him appear, because the Bloodline it is starting to. And I think the Rock's appearance and him teasing something could have rejuvenated it a little bit, similar to how Sami Zayn added some life to it when it was flatlining. But now it's just back to being downhill for me.
Well, Rock 100% already said that he's going at 40. He claimed 39 was in the books, which it was not. That's a lie. And I think he said that. No, it was 100% a lie. Even when he told the story, it wasn't even true. He's like, we were just shooting the shit and said it. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And then it didn't happen. That's not.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, we have the merger. The one thing he said in that announcement was, we have the merger in a couple of months, but we didn't find out about the merger until WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So did they tip him off? Did they say, oh yeah, hey Rock, we're merging with UFC. So just wait until that. Let's wait until 40. No, that's a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yeah, all of it. But he'll be at 40, I guarantee it. And we can talk about that in the future and what we think Roman's going to do with his belts and so on. But let's go to Raw, because we did a lot about the releases and things. So let's go Raw. Yeah. Raw wasn't too impactful anyway, so we can breeze through it. But I wanted to talk about, we were talking about Judgment Day being important and then not feeling important. Here's another key thing. Cody and Dirty Dom open up Raw once again. And out comes Dirty Dom to a chorus of boos. Cody mentions the fact that when he gets in, it says, did any of you even hear what he had to say? Which I do like, because Cody's pushing the fact that he gets booed. I had somebody, because I was talking about Dirty Dom's boos on TikTok, and someone commented just recently saying, like, it's piped in, right? No. 100% it is not. It's not piped in because they show the crowd booing him. So that's not pre-recorded. That's a lot. You can see them all booing, and the wrestlers react to it. They wouldn't if he was barely getting booed, Cody wouldn't have said, did you hear all those boos? Because the crowd would have been like, huh? No, they're laughing while he's getting booed. Like, it's like, obviously this is real life heat from Dirty Dom. But basically, Cody Rhodes then says an outdated joke comparing Rhea and Dirty Dom's relationship to Stefan and Steven Urkel. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know how many people currently watching wrestling even know what Family Matters is. I don't know what the heck Cody was thinking. And Cody obviously didn't watch Family Matters because Laura does end up with Steven. So I don't even, and Stefan, they become two different people, and she does fall in love. I don't even know where anyway, but he used an outdated line. And then he talks about how you're into mommy way more than mommy's into him. So I also don't think Cody watches the product, because mommy is all over Dirty Dom, like all over him. There's TikToks of them where you're literally like, is she really with Buddy? That's how over and all over him he is. So it all just felt stupid and flat to me. It felt like a cheesy, mommy's not here, let's try to get like allude that she was into Jey. And I was like, where is this even coming? It was awful. And then they have a 2-minute match. 2-minute match where Dom gets like no offense in, gets nothing. Pinned, while Judgment Day is there just watching. None of them went in and we could not have a beatdown. And why is Cody still feuding with it? What is happening, Shooting Star? Just all of this was a hot mess. And once again, Judgment Day looks weak. And you're making Dirty Dom look weak right before he goes to NXT to defend his belts and to feud with Carmelo. And I don't know what's happening right now. And what the hell is Cody Rhodes doing? Because he has nothing to do till Mania. Like, then give him why can't he have a feud? He can't have a feud with somebody? And when are anybody?
When are we going to find out who's getting traded to SmackDown from Raw?
Oh, they're already over that, aren't they?
Yeah, it feels like they just kind of probably they knew about, hey, now Adam Pearce really is drafting against himself, because now NBC Universal, they're the ones in charge now, so they get their picks of both shows. But seriously, like this, I hated everything about Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. Everything, his opening promo to even Kevin Owens coming out, and him and Sammy standing tall with Cody Rhodes against the Judgment Day, and then Kevin Owens comes out and stands on the turnbuckle and says, "Hey Cody, I think we have something we need to talk about." And right before the commercial break, they show Cody like walking back to the ring, and he's like, "Oh, I wonder what this is about." Like, I get you're trying to like tell us like. What the hell do you think it's about, dude? Like, you literally came out and said, "I want to talk about Jey Uso." You got interrupted by the Judgment Day and Dirty Dom in that opening segment, and then out come KO and Sammy to even things up, and then they leave. Judgment Day doesn't do anything; they leave through the crowd, and then Cody Rhodes,
literally through the crowd.
Yeah, Kevin Owens, what do you want to talk about? What's this all about? He got super kicked last week by Jey Uso. What do you think? It's just so stupid. And
KO's promo was good though. I did like him saying like, I don't trust that. I'll forgive this, but I'm not going to trust them. I did like that.
Yeah, KO was good, but everything about Cody was just, I didn't like it. And then his match with Dirty Dom, he got no offense. Dominik got no offense in. It was a quick squash match. Judgment Day just stood there like a bunch of loaves. It made no sense to me. You have the Money in the Bank and the Undisputed Tag Team Championship holders, and they can't do anything against Cody Rhodes. It's like that invisible barricade we always talk about. It's like, I can't go into the ring right now. There's that force field around it, and it's preventing me from going in there. Like, it's so stupid. And everything about Cody really irritated me on Monday night.
Because he's John Cena, and we don't like John Cena, so that's the thing. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's a mistake if he goes after. We'll talk about it in our segment, but it's a mistake if he goes after the world title. So speaking of mistakes, Nia Jax is back, and last week she came out in the middle of the main event between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, and made her presence known, and helped Rhea Ripley get a pinfall victory over Raquel. And then she beat up both Raquel and Rhea after the match, and did a bonsai drop or something onto.
It's a Yokozuna drop. I don't know what it's called, but
she did that and slapped Rhea Ripley across the face a couple of times and then left. This week, Rhea Ripley was storyline injured, selling the effects of that Yokozuna drop from Nia Jax, and then we don't see Nia Jax at all. We're starting to get some movement in the women's tag division. We're starting to see, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They're back together, and they're in the tag team match, and we're getting this up and coming new tag team of Shayna Baszler and what's the other girl's name? His name's escaping me. Zoe Stark.
Oh, Zoe Stark.
Yeah, so they're getting together, and like they're red hot right now. They're fresh off of a victory over, or Zoe Stark got put over by Trish Stratus. She got that. She got that Trish Stratus rub, who's one of the greatest of all time. She took her out. Shayna Baszler was red hot going into her feud with Ronda Rousey. So yeah, let's have a tag team match between Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Zoe Starks, and Shayna Baszler. And it was before it even got started, out came Nia Jax, and she squashed the entire tag team division. She took out Piper Niven pretty easily. She took out Chelsea Green very easily. She manhandled Shayna Baszler. Shayna got no blows in whatsoever, got nothing. Took her out, and then, of course, took out Zoe Stark, and then just leaves. And that's like, and she even said,
well, she Yokozuna bombed Shayna again and slapped her in the face.
Yeah, she did. And then she as she's walking up the ramp, the camera pans to her, and she says, "I've got the whole division on notice now," or something along those lines. And what are we doing? Like, why are you're making your champions, your women's champion Rhea Ripley, which I'm okay with that, I guess. But you're making your tag team champions look super weak. You're making your up and coming, like, you have two potential, maybe three, maybe four, if you want to include Piper Niven in that. But you could have potentially 4 future women's world champions in that segment with Nia Jax, and she just took them all out with ease. And what is this leading to? I don't know. I don't like it. This feels like it. This kind of felt like The Rock had some say in this, like, "Hey, I'm not coming on SmackDown if you don't bring my girl Nia back." Or
I'm telling you,
I don't know. It just feels random. It just feels like, where are they going with this? So is she not going to fight Rhea Ripley anymore? Is this now going to be her versus the entire women's division at Survivor Series? Like, what is this going to be? Like,
she's by herself.
Yeah, it's a Survivor Series match against
Nia
5
Jax
women.
Does she get 4 outs, or does she just get 1 and it's just against the other?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's 5-on-1 elimination match, traditional Survivor Series rules. Nia Jax versus the women's division. But I don't like this. I don't understand what they're doing. It just, again, feels random. Very, very random.
I agree. And she got no reaction last week, and she got no reaction this week.
None.
And here's the other thing too, right? You already know she's not over. You already know fans hate her. Most women in the back hate her. And this is true. I'm saying hate. I don't hate it, but they hate her. They don't like her at all. She injures people. She got no pop. But you're gonna have her squash 4 people who aren't really like baby faces anyway. None of them are baby faces. So it's not like the crowd was gonna even care to begin with. And you have someone like Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, who look like the future of the tag team women's division, and they're both battling over who's the baddest woman on the planet. They talked about it before they came out.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason they have them get squashed by Nia Jax for no reason. Chelsea Green, the tag team champions, with Piper getting squashed. It was just a hot mess. She walked up the ramp to no reaction. Move on, WWE. This is stupid. It's a waste of our time. And I know that people can get over if you use them correctly, but I just think Nia Jax, I just don't think the fans are ever going to relate to her. I think this is just a dumb mistake. I do think it's a Roman Rock influence thing because she's been gone for so long and now she just got brought back. And I know their women's division is lacking, but once again, we could have saved this for 2 more weeks and brought in Jade Cargill to do this. And the fans would have been into it and they would have loved it. Even if you bring her to NXT then you wait 2 more months, but we didn't have to do this right now. Rhea Ripley can feud with somebody else. I don't know. I'm not feeling it at all.
Maybe that's what this is leading to. Maybe this is leading to she's taking out everybody and now she's going to, there's nobody left. And then boom, that's when Jade Cargill comes and takes her out or something. I don't know.
I think Jade should go to NXT first. I think she's still
I do too.
A little green. Her match that we'll talk about tomorrow. I mean, she's still green. She needs some time and she can get pushed. It's like Mandy Rose, man. Like Mandy was ready. She could be on the big time, but going to NXT made her so much better. I think the same thing could happen with Jade Cargill. So I want to talk about just Raw. Speaking of repeating itself, this was part of it. This was like watching Raw Part 3. The last 3 weeks, I've seen the same, it's Groundhog's Day. This is Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray, where it's the same thing over and over. We had Cody and Dom for the 8th straight week. We had Ricochet and Nakamura for like the 3rd straight week. We had Nakamura and Seth do the same exact thing where Nakamura says something they get broken up. Seth's trying to fight him. Seth, also, Mr. Rollins, I love you, dude. You're one of my boys. I respect you, best in the biz, if not one of. Don't wear glasses and a crop top in a backstage promo, stupid glasses when you're trying to be serious and how intense you are. You can't dress up like a clown and act like you're tough. He was backstage like, I'm fired up, I want to. And he had these stupid like Becky Lynch glasses on and a literal Seth Rollins crop top. It was like cut all the... Bro, you can't look like a moron and have anybody be afraid of you. We had Nia Jax squashing people again. We had Solo and KO bickering with Jay, and we had Drew and Jay, or not Sammy and KO. Sorry, not Solo and KO. Sammy and KO feuding with them, bickering over Jay and what he's doing, and do I like him? Do I not? Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, which you'll talk about to close out feud. I mean, I just feel like we literally just watched the same. We've watched this 3 weeks in a row, and it's not like it's like you're building it and now we're here. No, it's like literally the same lines, the same story, the same match, minus Drew and Jay, but it's still like this. I mean, and you're going to get into why we're even doing this. So it's like, I just feel like Raw with SmackDown moving up and down and they're kind of enhancing or moving things. Raw has just been the same exact show on repeat forever. It's longer than the last 3 weeks. This has been going on forever. Actually, you're going to talk about something else. So Drew and Jay and bring up why you think even the fact that they're doing that is stupid.
It's so dumb. It's like, why is Drew mad at Jey Uso? If anybody's watching, listening, hearing us, email me at 2dudeswithattitudespodcast@gmail.com and tell me why Drew McIntyre is mad at Jey Uso. Is it just the principle of the matter that he was in the bloodline, or is it because is that really it? Because if you go back and watch Clash at the Castle, the Usos weren't even there. And the reason that Drew McIntyre did not win the Undisputed Championship is because of Solo Sikoa, whom the elders sent.
Yes.
Not the Usos. So why? I don't understand why Drew McIntyre is so peeved at Jey Uso right now. It makes no sense. And the fact that we're spending an entire episode of Raw just kind of talking about everybody being mad at Jey Uso, but yet nobody's mad at Sami Zayn for doing some of the same exact stuff. It's just I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Didn't Solo also cost KO hit? I thought Solo had, because everyone was complaining that Roman's matches ended the exact same way, like 4 times in a row. I know the Usos weren't even at Drew McIntyre's event. Like once they weren't even there. So the fact that he even brought up Jey makes no sense. They weren't even in the building. But like, I thought Solo thumbed everybody. I thought he gave the Samoan spike to everyone to help
he's
Roman.
The reason Cody. Yeah, he's the reason Cody didn't win.
Cody, not Jey. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Usos came out, but they got taken out by KO, and they got taken out by KO and Sammy.
After they lost,
Solo got tossed and came back, and Samoan spiked them. Yeah, so Solo's really the reason here, not Jey Uso.
Not Jey. Yeah,
and Solo. I don't remember if he had anything to do. I know he had something to do with the Royal Rumble, but did he have anything to do with Sammy losing an Elimination Chamber? I don't remember, but
I thought it was a Samoan spike as well.
It may have. Yeah,
pretty sure it was. So yeah, I don't know. I was being confused. And Jey and Roman already had their match like 8 months ago. So it's not like this is new. Jey had left the blood. I'm over it. I'm over it. And then other things that I'm over, and I'll be quick, is what are we doing with Chad Gable? Chad Gable was red hot, and he's ready to. He was this close to dethroning Gunther. He's this close, and I'm all about seeing a story through. And I get that they want to put him in a different direction now. He had his chance and he didn't get it. So now he's got to earn it back. He's at the back of the line. But if he is going to get it back, whether it's at Fastlane or Survivor Series or even in Saudi Arabia, whenever they do this, him losing does him no favors whatsoever. And not only he lost to Big Bronson Reed, and it wasn't even like a good match. Like Chad Gable got a little bit of offense in, and then Bronson Reed did the rest and just beat him. And it almost feels like they're moving on from Chad Gable and giving Tommaso Ciampa the IC title shot. And if he wins the title, that would be great. I love Ciampa, but I think people are going to be upset that it's not Chad Gable. Well, not only did they move on, he got clean beat. He got the finisher. It wasn't like there was no cheating. No, he got his butt kicked and got smashed, and they're doing it next week again with Otis. Like, you talk about repeating yourself. This happened with Imperium. 1 week it was Gunther versus Chad Gable, and then the next week it was Otis versus Gunther, and now it's Big Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable, and next week it's Big Bronson Reed against Otis. So it's just, and obviously he's going to beat Otis. He just beat the better of the two. You start with Otis, go to Chad Gable second. And Big Bronson Reed sucks, man. I'm not trying to hate on no wrestlers. I wish them all the best. I love anybody who does the business. Big Bronson Reed, do you? I hope you have a long career. If they want to give you a title, I'll support it. But dude, with how many, he reminds me of Keith Lee, where he's just this big man who really doesn't have any gifts, and he just does a few moves. Like, what does Bronson Reed do that eye pops you? Give me one thing that Big Bronson Reed does that he doesn't do any. He's not even athletic. He's not even like doing things. He just literally just bumps people and does that stupid splash. I don't know. I don't get why they're pushing him. I don't know what's going on with WWE right now in Raw, but I wasn't for it. And I thought there was a 0% chance Chad Gable was going to lose that match. And I did too. Boy, was I wrong. Woo. Yeah. That was a mistake. Yeah. Well, let's talk about, you were talking about A shows in USA. Let's talk about the A show now. And that's WWE NXT. People were so mad when it became 2.0. Black and Gold is dead. How could you do that? Then they gave it to the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Mr. HBK, Shawn Michaels. And boy, has he made it feel like Black and Gold again. It is popping. And I want to talk about, once again, the Judgment Day goes up, goes down, went back up a little bit. Dirty Dom kind of was headlining this NXT a little bit with his appearances. He had a backstage promo with Trick Williams telling him also to join Judgment Day, right? Was it? And he was like, or that Carmelo wasn't good for him or whatever. And then so did other people, though. So did Dragon. Everyone's telling Trick Williams that Carmelo ain't good for him. And maybe Trick Williams will end up costing him his belt. But everyone's talking about Dragunov winning the belt. I think they're going a different route. I feel like we are hinting at Dirty Dom, Mr. Dom himself, winning the NXT champ, and maybe even being a 2-time champ, or maybe losing to Dragon Lee and then winning that NXT belt at their next pay-per-view. Him and Carmelo after he got squashed in 2 minutes by Cody, I was a little bit worried what Carmelo was going to do to him, but it was a good match. I felt like they had really good chemistry, which anyone can, because Carmelo is one of the best in the biz. And I still think Carmelo's ready for the big show. I think he needs to move on. They need help on SmackDown and Raw as well. And Carmelo can do it, especially if he joins Hurt Business 2 with all of them. But I thought this was a really good match. I like that it ended in a no contest with Dragunov interfering. I think it's great. I like what they're doing with it. Maybe Trick Williams cost him the match. I don't know what's going to happen, but I like where we're going with it. I don't think this is a double booking. I think this is building a good story between them all, with Dragon Lee, with Trick Williams, with Dragunov, with Carmelo, with Dirty Dom. But what say you? Are we just getting the tease right now? Because I don't feel like you can tease Dirty Dom with Carmelo for no reason. I feel like you got to go somewhere with it. Even with Dirty Dom saying, you always called this the A belt, and it is still the A belt. And Carmelo, like, it was A belt when I had it. And then, they had a great match, no contest. So they're still even 0-0. Yeah. I mean, what say you? I don't know.
And
I like it.
Yeah. And now with Mustafa Ali being released, Dominik doesn't have an opponent at No Mercy.
Triple threat.
So maybe they
he could pin Dragunov to win the belt.
Yeah, and Trick Williams takes out Carmelo Hayes.
Yep. Yeah, we could do it all right now. Oh, no,
let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm down for that, man. Yeah,
I like it. That could be what's happening. Maybe that's why they were doing it. Maybe that's why, because they had to have known Ali was getting released. So maybe that's why. Yeah, but Ali on NXT said, "I'll see you at Raw."
Yeah, it made because he was like, I'm mad that a guy that I beat, Dragon Lee, is getting a title shot for before me. So I'm going to go to Raw too, because apparently that title's being defended on Raw now. But yeah, it's just I don't. Yeah, I say put it on him now. Put it on him at No Mercy at the end of September, and let's see what he can do with it. And let him be Dom 2 belts. You have Finn and Damian carrying 2 belts. And
Dom 2 belts.
Let's go. And you got Rhea Ripley dominating the women's division. Bring it on, man. Make him the face of NXT and move Carmelo Hayes to the main roster. Yeah, let's do it.
I agree. Put all the belts on Judgment Day.
Let's do it. And then for me, I want to talk about Becky Lynch. First of all, she was on Raw and she defended the NXT title
her belt.
against up-and-comer Natalya.
Woo!
Yeah, way to put young talent over, but whatever, that's fine. I'm not mad about that one. But she showed up on NXT and she cut a pretty good promo to open the show, a nursery rhyme where she rhymed like Roxanne and she rhymed two-time Becky Lynch or Becky Two Bell or the man. Yeah, all these, she name dropped a bunch of people. It was a good little promo. And yeah, then Tiffany Stratton came out, interrupted her, and they set up a match, I guess, for No Mercy. It's going to be a one-on-one rematch. But then Becky Lynch was like, Kiara James and Tiffany Stratton beat up Becky Lynch. And then backstage, there's another match. And then Becky Lynch interrupts a backstage interview and says, I'll fight you both tonight, 2-on-1 handicap match. And the commentators are like, oh, can she handle that? A 2-on-1 handicap match? Like, what is she thinking? And then it becomes a 2-on-2 tag team. I mean, this was all over the place.
It was.
But yeah, it ended up being Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria against Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton. And it was a fun match. Becky Lynch got some good moves in. I thought Stratton and James looked really good. They took out Becky Lynch for a little portion of the match there and kind of did their thing. But it was a good way to tease to the Tiffany Stratton thing. But I'm still curious what they're doing with Becky Lynch. Is this leading to Jade Cargill coming to NXT and feuding with Becky? Are they going to put her? They got to have big plans for Jade when she comes. She can't just she can't. I mean, she's going to have to earn the title shot, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what up and comer she can. I mean, there's a lot of them on the NXT roster, but Tiffany Stratton is probably not going to beat her at No Mercy next week. So I'm just trying to think of somebody that could potentially beat Becky Lynch.
I mean, it might be her. Well, who's going to beat her is going to be Jade Cargill. I think they're going to have Jade Cargill come back. Yeah, I'd say 2-3 months, and then maybe at Royal Rumble pay-per-view, that one around that time, whatever NXT event that is. I would say around that, and then have her lose the belt to Jade Cargill. You got to at least have Jade beat up Valkyria and a few of the other girls, maybe Tiffany Stratton, get a couple good wins, and then build up to Becky 2 belts.
I'd like to see Jade Cargill come out and look at Lyra Valkyria and be like, "Hey, I fought somebody similar to you," and talk about Taya Valkyrie and
I fought your sister.
Yeah, I think I fought your sister or something like that. Yeah. I don't think they'll do that, but they should.
No. But I think it's coming, and I think we're gonna see Jade Cargill, and she'll be the one winning it, and I think that'll be a good rub for her. So she needs it. Just because she was a TBS champion don't mean nothing. So yeah. All right. That was the week. Pretty good. Well, yeah.
So
big things happening too. Yeah, it was all right. We had the Rock start off, so I mean that was a big deal, and NXT ended it off strong. Just Raw's been a hot miss lately. All right, segment time. You ready?
Yes, sir.
And it is time for what we call
Would You Rather. Clap, clap, clap,
Ooh,
clap. Yeah.
Would you rather? And in this segment, we're going to talk about a couple things, give each other two different scenarios on what we would rather have happen right now in storylines happening in the WWE. As always, Sami Zayn's twin brother gets to start off. Mr. Shooting Star Press, what you got for me?
All right, I posted this. This one's going to be easy. I posted this on TikTok yesterday at Shooting Star PRS on TikTok, so go check it out. I also put it on our YouTube channel for everyone to go vote on. But would you rather Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 2 at WrestleMania 40 or The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 40?
All right, you ready to hate my answer?
Go for it.
All right, you're going to hate it because it's not even going to be a real answer. This is what's going to happen at WrestleMania 40. You ready? Night 1 is going to be, drum roll, Roman versus The Rock for the tribal chiefness. In which Roman is going to lose. Night 2 is going to be headlined by, drum roll, Roman versus Cody for the belt, in which Roman will lose, ending the whole Roman Reigns tribal chief bloodline thing. Roman will take time off and come back as somebody else. That's what's happening, my man. I'm telling you now, you can pencil it in. That's your WrestleMania main events right there. Just put it in stone. I'm telling you, that's what they wanted to happen this year, probably. That's what's going to happen. Cody's going to finish his stupid story. That's why he ain't doing anything.
He can't even finish a promo on Raw. Talk about finishing his story.
I told you were going to hate it. What say you, man? What say you? I'm telling you.
I would rather. I'm going to get hate from the Cody lovers, but I would rather see The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the title. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say that it's too predictable. Rock has to go back to Hollywood. There's no way they're going to put the belt on The Rock. There's no way that, but
Roman could win.
Yeah, Roman could win. Or you still have Senior Money in the Bank lurking around, and you could have The Rock beat Roman Reigns. And then after the match, they show each other a sign of respect because they're still family. And then boom, that's when the Judgment Day comes out and beats them both up.
Mm-hmm.
And Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank on The Rock. And Judgment Day looks strong. The Rock puts over a younger talent in Damian Priest. You write off The Rock and Roman Reigns off of TV. You set up the Judgment Day as the new faction, the real faction of the WWE now, kind of a passing of the torch with the bloodline and to the Judgment Day, and let them run roughshod all over Monday night, Friday night, Tuesday night, every night that they're there. So that's what I would do, but they won't do that.
I have a feeling I like that, but I just want to chime in before I do mine that I have a feeling that Damian's cashing in at the next pay-per-view on Seth Rollins. I think they're doing the back injury a lot. I think they don't want Nakamura to be the champ. I think Nakamura is going to put a big-time ass whooping on him. Damian's going to cash in, bank them both before the match is done, pin Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins can be written off TV so Damian can defend it a while and doesn't need to have a rematch instantly. That's where I think they're going. I think Damian's about to win this belt.
Have they announced Seth Rollins and Nakamura? Because didn't Seth Rollins offer him like 5 rematches?
Yeah, and he said no every time. Yeah.
So, but they're totally going to fight.
But now he wants it. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So I already peed you off with my answer. Now I'm going to pee you off with my first would you rather. You ready?
Let's do it.
As I said, LA Knight ain't touching WrestleMania Roman Reigns. Get over it. Get over it, Shooting Star. Yeah. Get over it, fans. So if we just pretend that's not going to happen, but we know something's going to happen, and maybe something with Roman, here's my question. Would you rather have LA Knight win a secondary title of your choosing, or Seth Rollins? You can have Seth Rollins or a secondary title. So Seth, Ray, or Gunther? Or would you rather have him main event at an upcoming premium live event against Roman Reigns and lose? What would you rather have? Him win a secondary title or get a big main event against Roman and job before WrestleMania? Maybe Survivor Series, maybe Royal Rumble. What would you rather have?
Yeah, you're right.
It's a good one, huh? Yeah, I knew, huh? Mm-hmm.
I think I would rather have him go for the big title and lose than go for the secondary titles right now. I think I would rather see him. I want to see him versus Roman. I think the promo battles have the potential to be really, really good, and we run the risk of doing what happened at last year's WrestleMania with Sami Zayn. He was like white hot after Elimination Chamber and after the Rumble. But Cody Rhodes still won the Rumble. So you could really throw WWE for a loop if LA Knight gets super over and he is like the white hot person going into Mania. They could force WWE to change their plans a little bit, similar to what they did for KO and Sami. They kind of forced their way into that main event of night one because of how over they were and how awesome they were with that story. So yeah, I would rather see LA Knight at least. Like you can't, like I said, you can't go for the secondary titles when you've name dropped Roman in a promo. Like it's like, oh yeah, well he's not here, so I'm gonna go after this. It would be like when Austin Theory cashed in the U.S. title, cashed in Money in the Bank on the U.S. title because he didn't think he could beat Roman Reigns. Like I don't want to see that. I want to see him go after it, and if you lose, you lose, but the crowd will love it and they'll eat it up, and the promos will be great, and they can change their Mania plans.
Yeah, I don't think he needs a title right now either way. And I think Ray's going to lose to Santos Escobar at some point, and I think Gunther is going to lose to probably Ciampa. So I think we should move on from that too, and then I think Gunther can move on to Seth Rollins or Damian Priest or whatever they're going to do. But yeah, I think I'd rather see LA Knight face Roman Reigns at the Rumble. I think it'd be the Rumble more than it looks like they're hitting that Survivor Series, but I would say Rumble. All right, what's your last one?
Okay,
what you got for me?
All right, would you rather have which one do I want to do? I've got two of them. Okay. Would you rather see Finn Balor and Damian Priest against Bobby Lashley's new faction at the upcoming pay-per-view? Or would you rather see Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the tag team champions, against Pretty Deadly?
Ooh. Oh, they did bring Pretty Deadly back.
Homeboy was
they were hilarious. Why are you in a wheelchair? That's classic. That's just like good. That's just good television to have an arm injury and be in a wheelchair. I'm gonna say Pretty Deadly for multiple reasons. One, Pretty Deadly doesn't need to win. Judgment Day needs to win. They need to keep winning and defending their belts. It doesn't seem like they have friction right now. So I'm gonna go with that, and I think that's a really good push for Pretty Deadly, even in a loss.
I do too.
And that sets them up as a dominant tag team, which we need, and have them go, get close, and then even have Judgment Day have to cheat, have Ray or Mommy interfere and cost Pretty Deadly the match. And maybe Pretty Deadly could be a baby face. I mean, they got the gimmick for it. Fans can love to hate them. So I think, I'm going to go with Pretty Deadly more so. I don't think they should feud with, I think we need to build up this Hurt Business 2 thing going on. So, yeah. I like it.
They teased on SmackDown a couple weeks ago that they run SmackDown. They don't, but we said last week, they don't even have a name. So,
how can you run something when
But then they brought back Pretty Deadly this week, so it's kind of made me wonder like, who should go after the tag team titles next.
Yeah,
but I agree. Pretty Deadly.
All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, just saying, we got the Judgment Day once again doing this weird thing with Jimmy and Jay. So one has to get in. Would you rather have Jey Uso join the Judgment Day, or would you rather have Jimmy Uso join the Judgment Day?
I would rather have Jimmy Uso join the Judgment Day. I think it makes the most sense. Jay is supposed to he's trying to figure things out on his own. That's why he quit the WWE. That's why he came over to Monday Night Raw and got away from the family. He's trying to get away from all that. Jimmy's trying to find his way back in, and he'll go to anyone that'll accept him. So, right now the bloodline, he might be in the bloodline, which is what Paul Heyman said, but he's not in the bloodline. Only Roman Reigns can make that decision.
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather see Jimmy in the bloodline. I think he's kind of in La La Land. He's kind of struggling right now, and I think the Judgment Day, with Dom's help, surprisingly, because how as much of a heat magnet as he is, I think it could get him back on the right path if they went that route. So I'm going to say Jimmy Uso joining the Judgment Day is what I would rather see over Jey.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Jimmy, go ahead.
I was just going to say, give Jimmy some shine.
Well, and not only that, but I don't think Jimmy's ready to stand alone. I think he is that secondary person in the tag team, which they end and they have no career while the other one does. Jey is already main event Jey. He has a damn shirt already. So, I mean, he's ready to go solo. He looked good against Drew. He can hang with them. He feels important. The crowd is into him. Jimmy joining Judgment Day makes sense. It branches him off for Bloodline, or maybe starts a future feud with Judgment Day versus Bloodline in the future. Maybe Judgment Day helps end Bloodline as well at Mania. So you never know. So yeah, I'm going to say if you got to pick one, I don't think it's going to be either. You got to pick one. I got to go Jimmy. Whatever happened to JD McDonough? He wasn't even on any of these episodes.
Yeah. No, we haven't seen him. And then what happened to the Bloodline and Judgment Day's little alliance that they had too? They just kind of dropped that like a bad apple.
They're just done with that. But anyway. Yeah. Weird stuff. All right, man. That was it. Good job. I think those were good. Would you rather? I got to do a couple of those on TikTok. That was pretty good. All right, man. As always, I am the dude of Wrestle Talk. You guys keep subscribing, Wolfpack. You keep listening. Keep telling your friends. We're still getting great views. We keep adding up our subscribers. Keep checking out our stories. Go to our TikToks. Do everything you want. I'm Mr. MWO. And with me, as always, is my man,
Mr. Shooting Star Press. Like he said, go follow us on YouTube. Go subscribe. We're at 475 subscribers as of this morning, so we're 25 away from 500. That's halfway to 1,000. So let's keep them coming in. Go follow us on Twitch, 2 Dudes with Attitudes Pod. Hit us up on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. And there's also WWE merch link in our bio. We have links with WWE, so you can go get all your Judgment Day merch, your Cody Rhodes merch, your John Cena merch, your LA Knight merch, anything you want, they have it there. There'll be a link in our description, so go check that out and hit us up. What are some of your would you rathers? Maybe we can bring the viewers into this and kind of do some from a viewer's choice would you rather edition. So hit us up on email, 2dudeswithattitudespodcast@gmail.com, or let us know in the comments some of your would you rathers, and maybe we'll do some of them in the future.
Let's, sir. Yes, sir. Not let's, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, 2 dudes. We out.
Back.
Let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday. Back to represent 2 dudes with attitudes. Yeah, here comes the main event. Every